Hello, how's it going? So, I don't always line up my content in the best way, but I guess this is one of those moments where we're doing that. I just posted a reading on TikTok about, well, it was about a lot of different things, but one of the things I did talk about was energy vampirism, and I wanted to basically talk about that a little bit more and say that I do like to believe that we can live in harmony as different creatures, as different types of humans. But like, I think where a lot of people go wrong is that they just don't know how to respect each other. They don't know how to honor each other. You know? I mean, cause like, I study like narcissists. I study like the people that we claim to be energy vampires, you know? And I do so out of protection, but also because I just like how the brain operates and I like learning about the brain. And so that being said, I do think that we can live in harmony, but it does require a lot of like self-honesty. And like, I think that's another place where people get fucked up, because a lot of people do not want to be honest with themselves. A lot of people would like to rather believe in the lie that they've created for themselves, and it's like, I'm not interested in that. You know what I mean? And so like, if I'm in a relationship with you, if I'm in connection with you, and you're like refusing to look at the truth of the situation, I don't want shit to do with that. You know what I mean? And like, but yeah, another thing about it is that like, I think if more people were willing to be like honest with themselves about their like manipulative, oh my god, I can't say the word, manipulative tendencies and like their vampiric ways, I think once again we could live in harmony. We could live a lot more in harmony. But a lot of people would rather just be like, oh no, I'm a good person, I'm gonna pretend to be a good person, I'm gonna pretend like I don't siphon people's energy. And like, I hate that. It's just like, be honest with yourself, you know what I mean? Because I did a reading. I went on live stream and I did a reading also, which was prompted me to do the video reading that I did. And like, the energy of energy vampires came through. The energy of like a liar, a manipulator came through for the person that I was reading. And because I like to come from a place of compassion, because I like to come from a place of like, you know, lack of judgment, I was like, you know, I'm not calling you a liar, I'm not calling you a vampire, but here's the energy. Because the question that they asked was like, what does the universe want me to learn at this moment? And so the answer that came out for them was like, compassion, expanding your heart center. Because generally that's the problem, quote unquote, with people who are like more vampiric. It's that their heart center is not open. They don't really have a clear understanding of what it means to like love and be in community and all that jazz. Also, sorry if the wind is a thing. Oops. And I think unfortunately we live in a world where it's very encouraged to turn off your heart, to not give a fuck about people, you know? And that's not healthy for the person turning off their heart, and that's also not healthy for anyone around them. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's become so normalized to just be a robot, to just be a person with no feelings. You know what I mean? And when we become that person, we cause so much pain for others. And there's something to be said about the dark triad and like people who are purposely malicious. There's something to be said about those people. But a lot of people, I don't think it's like malicious. I don't think a lot of people, well, maybe there's a lot of people, but I don't think it's a majority of people. I don't want to believe that it's a majority of people. I don't know. Because from a spiritual perspective, we could talk about demons. We could. And we could talk about like all that stuff. But either way, assuming that I'm talking to someone who is full of life, someone who is like wanting to like take the world by storm or whatever, you're going to deal with people who like siphon your energy, who like want to take your energy without your permission. And I literally said it to someone that I'm in a relationship with currently. I was like, I don't mind giving out my energy, even on a an an unconscious level, I don't mind giving you my energy. But when it becomes to be draining and like I'm feeling tired and I'm not able to do what I need to do, that's where it becomes a problem. You know what I mean? Like, and so I had to really put up that wall. I don't know if he fully understood, but I still expressed it because I was just like, this is, I don't know, man. And so I do think we can live in harmony. I do think that we should be able to, you know, coexist with these like malicious energies, but like part of that is knowing yourself and like knowing who the fuck you are and like, you know, not taking no shit. And that's something I've had to learn recently, like, you know, not being a pushover, not, you know, allowing people to treat me however. And some people will dislike you for that, and that's crazy in itself, but that's a lesson to be learned. Oh my god, are there trains nearby? What the fuck? But that's a lesson in itself, you know. So I don't know, do what you will with this information. I had to clear up a lot of space just to make this video, so hopefully hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully this does something. If not, I guess I'm just wasting my breath. But yeah, deuces.